What's good, fellas? Welcome to this presentation. Today, we're going to be talking about how to overcome your fears and approach women like a god. All right, how are we going to do this? We're going to transcend time. We're going to transcend your body. We're going to transcend the environments. And we are going to find the present moments. And how are we going to do this? Through the power of meditation. Through the power of meditation. That's how you're going to overcome your fears and begin to approach women like a god. All right. So we want to get to the present moment, because in the present moment, there is no fear. In the present moment, there is no limits. There is no attachments to your body, to time, to the environment, to others, to objects, to places. You become nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, no time, no place. You become complete, pure consciousness. The present moment is where you can create a new personality, which means in the present moment, you can create a new reality. In the present moment, you can become a god. You can become anything you want, right? If you become nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, no time, that means you can become anyone, anything, anytime, anywhere, be in any place. You become limitless because you don't see things. You don't see things from this three-dimensional limited matter reality. You start to see things as energy. You start to become shapeless, formless. You start to become like water, like what Bruce Lee said. So how do we become like gods? We have to get beyond the analytical mind. You see, when you're in the analytical mind, you analyze shit and you get too logical and too limited in your thinking. But when you're beyond the analytical mind, you stop overthinking, you stop overanalyzing, and you just are. You just be. You just live. So meditation, we use meditation to break free of our limitations, to get beyond the analytical mind, to get beyond overthinking and just be, just exist, just live. True freedom. What do we really want? We want true freedom to just express, right? People get depressed because they don't express. They don't truly express their authentic selves, right? Whenever people feel confined or restricted or unable to really live the way they want to live, they start to go into a depression because they are suppressing themselves. They're stuck in the analytical mind. They're stuck in the old subconscious programs, and they just don't know how to get out. And so they become depressed. But while you have those people who become depressed, we're the opposite. We become godlike because we know how this shit works. We get beyond the analytical mind. We do our meditation and we overcome our fears and live in the present moment. In the present moment, you can approach that woman like a god because you are nobody, nowhere, no time, no thing. You're not attached to anything. That means you can become anything. You can approach her as a god. You can approach her as a lion. You can approach her as a king. You can approach her as an emperor. You can approach her as anything because you're not limited by this 3D reality where people are like, oh, but you're just the man, or you're just a regular guy, or you're not this and you're not that, or you are that, or you are this. No, I'm nobody. I'm no one. I'm no thing. I'm no time. I'm nowhere. I'm nothing, which allows me to be anything. We become pure consciousness. We got to understand that 95% of who we are is a subconscious program that is running, and 5% is the consciousness, is the conscious mind, right? So what we have to do is we have to go into the subconscious mind. We have to become conscious in the subconscious mind. We have to go in there and reprogram it. See, we want to get our subconscious mind on our side. I mean, if the subconscious mind is 95% of who we are, then wouldn't it make sense to make sure that we wire that subconscious mind and program it so that it is aligned and it is serving us versus being against us and stuck in the past? So We have to become conscious of the unconscious thoughts that are running. Why is meditation important? Because you sit down and observe your thoughts. You have thoughts that are running in your mind on autopilot. Try to shut them off and see what happens. See how difficult it is to shut it off. That means it's a program that's running, but you don't have to act from the program. Like, that's what we got to understand. The program is going to run. The subconscious mind is not necessarily a bad thing. It's going to run, but we don't have to act from it because we're not it. So if the subconscious program is running a program of fear, we don't have to be fear, because we, the conscious ones, are not fear. We're experiencing fear because the subconscious mind is running a program of fear, but we're not fear. So you overcome the fear by realizing you're not it, and you act against it. You make a different choice. Instead of the fears telling you, walk away from the girl, don't approach her, she's too this, she's too that, you're too this, you're too that, whatever, da 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 da. You say, I'm not a program, I'm not a robot. I'm going to approach her. And not only that, I'm going to approach her like a god, because I said I'm going to approach her like a god. Or I'm going to approach her like a king, or approach her like a lion, or approach her like a beast, whatever it is. Right? So when you start observing your thoughts instead of reacting to them, you become godlike. You're no longer a slave to your thoughts and your mind. You become divine. You become limitless. You become amazing, spectacular. You become unstoppable because you're no longer reacting, man. You're no longer attached to your thoughts in your mind. You have created that separation to know you are greater than the mind. You're greater than the body. You're greater than time. You're greater than the environment. All your body wants to do is run on autopilot. That's all your body wants to do. Run on autopilot, because the body is lazy. It wants to conserve energy. So it says, yo, let's run on autopilot, bro. Let's just do what we normally do. Which means if you do what you normally do, you're going to keep creating what you normally create. Your life is just going to keep going in a pattern. It's going to stay stagnant. But when you live in the present moment, your body is no longer the mind. Your body's no longer has the seat. Is no longer the captain. You become the mind. You become the captain. In the present moment is where you have all the power, because you have the power to create. It's when you say, I am not my mind, I'm not my body, I'm not the opinions of others, I'm not my past, I'm not none of that shit. I'm just expression of consciousness, right? Every time you overcome some aspect of your old personality, you liberate energy. When you break free of the bonds of your past, those are energetic bonds. Everything that's happened in your past, if you're still holding on to it, there's energy going towards it. But when you break free from it, that's why, like, if somebody was in like a cult, or like in a really bad relationship, or in a very horrible environment, and they go into a new environment, go into a new condition, they usually like become a whole other person, right? They usually transform, evolve a lot, because they done broke free. All those energetic bonds that were attached to that old identity and that old environment and that old time and now has now been liberated, and they can use it to create this new version of themselves. The body will submit. It will be your servant if you keep bringing it into the present moment. If you tell your body who's boss, your body will bow down. But if you are living in the past and living in a predictable future, the body takes over, because the body can do that better than you can. And when I say the body, I'm talking about the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind can live in the past and live in a predictable future way better than you can. So You must train your body the same way you would train your dog, the same way you would train an animal if you wanted that animal to listen to you. Your body's like an animal. If you don't train it, it will drag you around. You ever like walk the dog that's not trained, that dog will pull you around and tell you where he's going. And that's what your body will do if you don't tell your body who's boss, right? So you want to change, you want to become more godlike, you want to approach a woman like a god, you have to break the habit of the old self and recreate or reinvent a new self. You overcome your fears by saying, okay, the old me was afraid of approaching women. The old me was afraid of rejection. The old me was afraid to lose the girl. The old me was afraid to make a mistake. The old me, that's the old me. Now we got to create the new me. The new me lives in the present moment. The new me expresses himself authentically. The new me leads. The new me owns his balls. The new me is grounded in his masculinity. The new me is a sexy beast. The new me is godlike. And you start thinking like the new you. You start acting like the new you. You start feeling like the new you, and you start to shed the skin of the old self. So meditation, the purpose of meditation is to get beyond the analytical mind. The analytical mind is what's holding us back and limiting us. It's analyzing shit based on the senses, based on this 3D Newtonian world that we live in, based on limits, based on a box. It analyzes and overthinks, oh, but what about this and this and that? And what about this law and this thing and this rule and that? And when we get beyond the analytical mind, we realize that it's all a bunch of bullshit. It's all an illusion. We can do, act, be however we want, as long as we're not violating anyone. And that's one of the key things that I make sure I mention here is we are not the type of men that violate people. That is not what I'm saying here. I'm just saying we get beyond our own bullshit. We get beyond our own fears, our own limitations, so we can be greater. So the analytical mind is what's separating your conscious mind from your subconscious mind. All right, let's get some facts here. From ages 0 to 6, all information that we received or were exposed to went into our subconscious mind without being edited. We didn't have an analytical mind developed to the level where it could check whatever was coming into the mind. So it just went in. It just went in and turned into a program. But then between the age of 6 to 9 is when we began to form our analytical mind. So that's when we started analyzing shit, started questioning shit. Like, I don't know about that. Or I don't know. Or maybe I could do that, but I don't know. Or yeah, I could do that or whatever. You know, when you're younger, you just did shit. Remember, when you're younger, you would like play with your own shit. Like literally, you would pick up shit, you'd smell it, you'd put your hand on the fire, right? Because you had no analytical mind. But then as you got older, you started analyzing stuff, getting more limited. So the conscious mind is 5%. That's the part of the mind that is where the will comes from, where creativity comes from, invention, you know, um, faith, production. And then the subconscious mind is your habits and your behaviors. Your conscious mind, 5%, subconscious mind, 95%. So your habits and behaviors are 95% of who you are. So we need, okay, so if that's the case, and we understand that 95% of who we are is much greater than 5%, we have to make sure that the 95% is aligned with what we would like to create. Otherwise, it's going to sabotage us, right? That's why you want to approach a girl, but you're experiencing fear because your subconscious mind has a program of fear that's triggered based on, oh, there goes a girl. Feel fear now, because what if you get rejected? What if you get embarrassed? What if you look stupid? What if your reputation takes a hit, right? That's the subconscious mind. It's all locked up into your identity and your reputation. So, but here's the thing, we can't change the subconscious mind with our conscious minds, right? 5% is not going to change 95%. You have to get beyond the analytical mind and enter the subconscious mind and reprogram it while you're in there. Many people have subconscious programs that are literally controlling their lives, literally dictating their lives, literally keeping them in the same life, actually. Same events, same experiences, same people, same time, same resources, same events. So you consciously could want something. Like I could consciously want, I don't know, consciously want. Let's use this a real example, right? When I was in high school, I consciously wanted a girlfriend. I consciously wanted to get my first kiss. I consciously wanted to. I don't know if I wanted to have sex because I was still really locked into the religion, but I did want to at least get a kiss and a girlfriend. But subconsciously, I didn't. I had subconscious programs that were holding me back. Subconscious programs that were have limiting beliefs and limiting behaviors, limiting actions and ways of thinking. So your subconscious mind can actually sabotage you from getting what you want. So we need to reprogram the subconscious mind. Reprogram the subconscious mind with a new program that is aligned with the way we want to be. Maybe a new program that allows us to live like a god, act like a god, be like a god instead of being like a little fearful little slave, fearful little pauper, fearful little commoner, villager. So how do we do this, man? Let's meditate. Let's meditate every single day. Every single day, how about we sit down for 10 minutes and watch our thoughts? No noise, no nothing. Just sit down in silence, watch your thoughts. Let's watch the subconscious program and see what it's saying first. Let's get an understanding. Who knows? Maybe it's actually doing a good job. I doubt it. I think it's probably fucking with you, but let's just see for ourselves. Let's sit down, watch the program, and see what programs are running. Early in the morning, 10 minutes. Okay. So 10 minutes. 10 minutes. All right. I hope you guys can hear me. There's a guy doing the lawn right now, right, like literally right next to my window. So 10 minutes, let's sit down in silence and watch our thoughts and see what is this program running. Right? That's the most basic meditation. Then you also have guided meditations. How about we do a meditation where we sit down, we get present to the moment, we slow down our brain waves, we go from beta and we go to alpha and we go to delta. We tap into that subconscious mind, we tap into that autonomic nervous system, and we start reprogramming it by thinking new thoughts and feeling new emotions that we want to feel. So, for example, every single morning I do the 10 minutes. I do the 10 minutes where I don't think, 10 minutes where I watch my thoughts. And then after that, I do 5 minutes where I reprogram my subconscious mind. I start thinking thoughts of gratitude, of love, of peace, of joy. And I start feeling gratitude, love, peace, and joy. And what I'm doing is I'm rewiring my subconscious mind because I'm creating experiences in my mind, and the mind doesn't know the difference between what's going on the inside versus what's going on outside. So if I visualize and I create experiences in my mind, my brain will start to wire based on that new program. Even though it's not actually happening externally, as I said, it doesn't know the difference. So if I do that every single day, what's going to happen? I'm going to start rewiring, firing and wiring a new program. So we got to meditate. We're not going to create any new programs in a state of survival and stress. That's why we need to sit down and relax. Sit down and relax and turn the music off, turn everything off, and meditate. You can do guided meditations too. That's what I'm saying. We want to tap into emotions and thoughts that are relevant to the character we want to be. So if you want to feel and be like a god, you have to start thinking like a god, and you have to start feeling like a god, and do that in your meditation too. Do that throughout your day, but do it in your meditation too, so you can reprogram your subconscious mind. Find meditations online. Type in God-like meditation or king-like meditation or feel sexy meditation. They have these guided meditations free on YouTube, or you can go and buy one. Like if there's a specific one you want to buy, or create your own. Create your own. You can create your own meditation. You could play music in the background and just speak things to yourself. I could play like some triumphant music, and just in my head, I could just say, I'm a god. I'm sexy. I'm unbreakable. I'm dominance. I'm grounded in my masculinity. I'm confident as fuck. I can approach any woman, anytime, anywhere. It's easy. It's easy. It's effortless to approach a woman. And I'll start visualizing it. I'll start feeling it. Oh man, it feels good to be able to approach a woman. So easy. Oh, she rejected me, and I just smile at her and I feel good actually. You can even program your mind to go against what is the norm. Like, you could program your mind to actually enjoy rejection. Do you realize how powerful we are? Like, you can get rejected and enjoy it and laugh and think it's funny. Oh, that's pretty funny. She rejected me. Don't you want that type of power? Man, I hope y'all are really getting this, man. We got to get beyond the analytical mind. We got to get beyond the past. The analytical mind is analyzing things based on your past. That's what it measures things up against. The past, the patterns of the past. We have to get beyond that. You can't be a god. You can't approach a woman like a god if you're stuck in the past. You have to be in the present moment to do that. Because in the present moment is where there's limitless versions of you. There's unlimited personalities, unlimited characters that can show up in the present moment. We leave the past in the past. You know, when I'm working with a client, I tell them, yo, leave the past in the past, bro. We're going into the future right now, but we create the future by going into the present moment. You see, that's how it works. You don't create the future by trying to go into the future. No, you create the future by going into the present moment. It's the present moment is where you create your future. Most people, including myself at one point, think things like meditation are a waste of time. They think, I can't change my thoughts. I can't change my program. I can't change my pattern. Like, it's the genes that I have. This is the way I am. This is how my mom was. This is how my dad was. Not realizing that each gene in their body has thousands of variations. If we could just understand that, what that means is that you're not locked into a static um, genetic destiny. You can create your destiny with your genes by signaling new genes in new variations, by thinking differently. Telling yourself that you're going to approach a woman like a god is a form of thinking differently. The limited way of thinking is, oh, I can't approach her like a god. That's silly. I can't approach her like a king, right? When I say these things, approach her like a god, like a king, people question it and doubt it. Like, you can't do that. But see, I understand how this shit works. I understand that they're speaking based on their past. They weren't able to do it in their past, so they're saying you can't do that. You get around successful people, like people that are really successful, they don't talk with those limited ways of thinking. They don't, because they get it. They realize how limitless you can be because they're successful. In order to be successful, you would have tapped into some form of uh different version of yourself to get that success. Like, I'm sure the regular version of them did not get that success, right? And if it did, God bless them. Maybe they were raised by like really successful parents, right? So maybe in a case like that, they wouldn't have to work as hard to be successful because it's just how they were raised, right? But even then, if they want that higher levels of success, they would still have to raise their game. Like, okay, LeBron James, yeah, he's talented, yeah, he's great, but he still had to work his ass off to become as great as he is. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, all these guys, they're great, but look at their work ethic though. Look at how they think. Michael Jordan's standards were out of this world. He basically carried himself like a basketball god. He expected nothing but the best from himself and his teammates. That's the thing. They said he was an asshole. Okay, whatever. But he was a winner though. He was a winner. He was thinking big thoughts. He was taking big actions. He was feeling great. Just look at his demeanor. You could tell he felt great about himself. Right? I'm not saying he was perfect or anything, but look at how he carried himself. He carried himself like a basketball god, basically, or at least a basketball king. Like he did it. Definitely didn't walk around like a slave or walk around like a pauper, like a basic commoner. And he wasn't trying to be cool or any of that stupid shit. He really was expressing himself through basketball. He was expressing his authentic self through basketball, right? He was expressing how he really wanted to be. Most people would be afraid, oh, they may think I'm an asshole or whatever. He wasn't afraid of that shit. He said, I am who I am, right? I'm tough on myself and I'm tough on others. And that's what it takes to get all those rings. That's what it takes to be known as the greatest basketball player who ever lived. And that's what it's going to take for you to overcome your fears and approach women like a god. You're going to have to think greater than your body, think greater than time, think greater than your environment, act greater than your body, act greater than time, act greater than your environment, and feel greater than what your body's feeling right now. Tap into a more elevated emotion. Feel greater than what the environment is trying to impose on you. And feel greater than time. Feel timeless. Feel limitless. Feel godlike. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.